All right, it's Matt with Chicago's MMA. We're here in Highland Park with Mr. Bas Rutten. Bas, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right. Krav Maga Illinois, hosting you for a seminar. They're the only Bas Rutten Systems school in Illinois, so if you want to come out and train under the Bas Rutten Systems, visit KravMagaIllinois.com. What are we going to learn here today at the seminar, and maybe what's something different that people are going to learn under the Bas Rutten Systems?
My whole approach on martial arts is different. You know, my ground game as well as my striking. My striking is wide open. I'm standing very square. A lot of people will say, you know, you need to make yourself as small as an opponent as possible for your opponent. As small as a target as possible, but you know you're locking yourself up. There's a lot of stuff you can't do if you stand in one line. There's no power in your left hand, no power in your left leg. You can't block low kicks. A lot of things you can't do. The only thing that you're going to give up is that you're not a wide target. But if you are a wide target and you stand wide open, then I will show these people what suddenly opens up. You know, like a jab becomes a straight punch. Like you can open with hooks. It's very easy to block kicks and counter kicks, and everything just becomes much better.
There's a lot of great things going on in the world of MMA right now. The direction it's going, there's more media coverage than ever. I think you probably agree that the caliber of the fighters, the quality of the fights is better than ever. As a pioneer, someone who's just been around the game for a long time, what, if anything, about MMA right now that you don't like in the direction it's going?
Nothing. I like everything. I really do. I would love to see instant replay getting introduced. You know, because that sometimes still makes some mistakes, you know, and it's not a hard thing to do, you know. They just hit a button, goes 5 seconds back. Oh, you guys are in film and everything, you know that. So hopefully they can do that. And for the rest, I'm very happy. I also would like to see like a 235-pound weight class, 205 to 235. I think the leap from 205 to 265 is just too big.
I would agree with that. It'd be cool to see a cruiserweight for some of these other guys like Frank Mir, maybe even Fedor or something like that. November 2nd, Fuel TV, Punk Payback, the new show. It sounds really cool. Tell us about it.
It's a lot of fun. It's security cameras picking up a robbery or a carjack or anything bad, and then I look at the clip, we narrate about the clip, and then I say, okay, we built a set, the same set. We put the punks in place, and now I'm the person who gets attacked. And then I show the people at home what they can do. And of course, we always tell the people, you know, what you need to do is give the money, you know, and you don't want any trouble. But, you know, if it would be me and the guy would have said something bad about my mother, I'll make up an excuse to beat that guy up, of course. And it's really funny. It's non-scripted. So everything you see me say, it's just goes out at top of the mind, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, right. We're looking forward to that. So that's Fuel TV, November 2nd. That's when that premieres. I think a lot of people have said that although Goldberg and Joe Rogan, they do a great job on UFC fights, that it would be helpful for them to have a third man in the booth, somebody who's a former pro fighter. Obviously, Joe Rogan has been training martial arts for a long time, but somebody who's been there and been in the cage. Is that something you would ever want to do? Is maybe get back to commentating like you did with Pride, or be join a third man in the booth with the UFC or some other organization?
You know, I really toned down a little bit on the commentating part because I've been away from my family so much. People don't realize that the first 11 years here in the States, I missed 9 Christmases and New Year's, pretty much all the father-daughter dances, all those shows. They always fall on the same day, of course, as an event for my family. So I missed out on a lot of stuff, and I figured, you know, my kids are still young now. You know, although they're already 10 and 14. Let's try to catch up sometime before they fly out the nest, right? Because they're going to go to college, you know, and God knows what college they're going to choose. So I like to do it like for ONE FC, you know, if it's something new that attracts me, I like to do that. I was never in Singapore before. I say, okay, they made sure that everything was top-notch, organized for me. Then I do it. I would love to sit, of course, with the UFC in one time, but just for fun, you know. If I would be there and they would pull me in the booth, you know, I don't even, you know, I'll do it. A few fights, I don't mind. I would just Joe Rogan, man. I love Joe Rogan, and Mike. I think he does a great job too. A lot of guys say, but he doesn't know the sport, and they're complaining about that's the play-by-play guy, guys. The color guy is the guy who knows, because a lot of times they say, oh, get Mike out and get Bas in. I say, no, you can't have 2 color guys. People sometimes they don't get what goes on in the commentating, but the third person, that will be good. But sometimes 3 is a crowd as well.